Thanks for clicking on the video. And today we are presenting the newest hardcover book, essentially a monster manual called the Monsters and Creatures Compendium. This is part of the Young Adventures Guide series published by Wizards of the Coast, and it just came out this week. So we're going to do a 100% flip through for this book. Before we do that, hopefully you can hit that like and subscribe and check out our free giveaways, including for a first edition D&D module down below. All right, so let's get started. So first of all, this is not necessarily new material, but it's just placed in a new format. A lot of this material actually came out earlier in these three books: the Monsters and Creatures, Beasts and Behemoths, and Dragons and Treasures, where we showcased in a previous video. So the cool thing about this, it is in one nice hardcover book. The artwork's nice. We're gonna do a 100% flip through of this book in a second. I guess the only qualm I have about this is the size. I like it's thick, but unfortunately, there's other books in these series, about 9 of them, but this compendium is actually a different size. It's bigger. So let me just overlay it. You can see it's a bit inch taller and an inch wider. So you can see it will not match the other 9 books in this series. This one will stand apart. It is bigger. So that's the only qualm I have about that. I'm not sure why they did that necessarily. I'm assuming it's actually a problem with the publishing company. They probably didn't want to make a thick bound book unless it was just bigger pages to accommodate the binding. I'm assuming that's because they wanted to keep costs down in a pre-existing format rather than develop new binding for thicker spine books. So that's what my assumption is. But anyways, let's get started. I haven't looked through this entire book myself yet. Just got a brief glimpse. First of all, it denotes danger levels here. It's sort of like challenge levels, basically, from 0 being harmless to 5. But you'll see in the book, they do denote higher numbers, even up to 10. And the other cool thing, maybe I'm a little biased, but of course there's a mimic there, right on the title page there. So that's cool. Artwork is really nice. I'm sure a lot of this, once again, has been recycled from other sources. But this is a cool owlbear painting, attacking an archer. Here's the table of contents. It goes over all the dragons. You can see giants, were creatures. One thing it does lack are elementals, which my daughter was asking about. So maybe they'll do a second volume in the future. So each creature is going to have the name, main artwork. Maybe they'll talk about the layer. They always will have a size comparison here, so you can see the size of a regular average human versus the creature itself. And do this to maybe be safe, and don't do this so you don't antagonize the creature. So, and also they will denote some special powers and abilities of each creature. So that's going to be the general format for each of these monsters. Animated armor. You can see once again there's a size reference. Do this and do not do this. The layer and some special annotations there. So pretty cool to peruse. Definitely cool to get your young ones into Dungeons and Dragons. Here, this Beholder page is pretty cool. Goes over each spell for the eyes. Featuring the new design of the bugbear rather than the first edition version of bugbears. So they will have more unusual creatures or monsters, like the corpse flower here. Legendary creatures. The Demogorgon. classic Displacer Beast. And of course it's going to go over all the dragons with their special breath attacks. So these will be the chromatic dragons first. The classic green. And sometimes they'll add a special encounter. So it's a sort of a little story or vignette, and then they ask you, what would you do? So just getting inspired DMs to think about making their own adventures, or as a player, what would you do? So here is Tiamat in all her glory. Got the breath spell summarized there. And here are the gem dragons. I would have to say one thing about the larger format. It really makes the artwork pop compared to the original presentation in these volumes. So here you can see the danger level's epic. The metallic dragons. Another encounter scenario. The dragon turtle. Now, if you read the prose carefully, it does add some additional lore. Also, sometimes it can be quite humorous. Maybe I'll see if I can find an example in a second. I think it's cool to have the flump. I know this wasn't a big hit when it first came out in Fiend Folio, but I think now it's widely accepted. And I think it's a cool classic D&D monster currently. Even my daughter knows about that. Giants here. Frost giants. So here's an example of humor for the hill giant. Do not do this. Don't be too delicious. Stone giant, storm giants, gibbering mouther. It's pretty cool that they have this in this volume here. The classic gnoll. Of course, a goblin here. Not aware of this creature. I'm not sure where he shows up. If you know, let me know in the comments down below, but I haven't heard of the grunge before. Lizard folk. Okay, the were creatures. The were bear. Were boar. Were rat. An encounter with a were rat. Were tiger. And of course the classic werewolf. Got Medusa in here. Only a danger level of 1. That's interesting. Oh, of course, my favorite, the mimic here. You can see different sizes depending on, I suppose, the age of the creature. Let's see, mimics are shape-shifting predators that take the form of inanimate objects to lure in their prey. Hint, that's you. Ah, that's pretty cool. Mind Flare, Minotaur, oh, that's neat. They go over the different oozes here. Gluttonous Cube. Oh, special pages just for the variations of these creatures. I wonder where green slime is. If you know, let me know down below. Okay, you got the owlbear there, Pegasus, pseudo-dragon, purple worm. You can see that's on the cover here. Originally I thought it was like maybe eagle versus snake, but of course it won't be that simple. Must be a rock with a purple worm. So pretty dramatic painting for the cover. Quickling, the rock we just mentioned. The classic Roper and Rust Monster. The Sphinx. Tesseract. Umberhulk. Special section for vampires. So it does have sort of a variation of an elemental, only the water one. And maybe a little blank sheet so you could fill it out in the future if you come across any of these creatures. You can write in its name, overview, layer, abilities, size, strategy, do this, do not, do this. And that is it. All right, so once again, this just came out this week. Hopefully you found that interesting. I'm definitely gonna keep this book, despite its difference in size. I'm sure I'll be able to fit on my shelf somewhere. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll have other volumes in the future covering other creatures. Obviously they're missing elementals and other creatures as well. But that is it. So don't forget to check out our free giveaways going on down below. And I hope everyone has fun and keep on adventuring.